Just
To
started.
accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hey, your current balance is $14.76. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained.
The
For more
location of our
information
phone
about
will
our
be
privacy
obtained.
policy, please visit www.connectnetwork.com. After the beep, press 5 to accept this call. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained.
The
Stay
location
on the
of our
line to
phone
accept this
will be
call.
obtained.
Thank you for using GTL.
I don't consent to recording of my call. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. You know that recording that goes before you start talking? It says the location of my phone will be obtained. It's the most George Orwellian recording I've ever heard, man.
It's almost like they're trying to intimidate you.
Right.
I talked to my roommate last night, and he said that if someone puts money on my account, on my books, that they don't charge for that, and that then I can order phone time from here, and there's no deduction. He says that's what he does because it's a lot cheaper than if somebody adds money on the phone from out there. They do a huge deduction.
Yeah, you're right. Connect Network is a website I used, and they took like $4 out of $20. But how do I put money on your books? What website do I use to put money on your books?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have it. I've asked, and I don't have that information. I know that they just say you got to send in a request, and it takes 5 days to get a response back on the request. It's ridiculous here.
Yeah.
It's like this morning. Me and this guy, we're locked down in this room 24/7. We get out 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, and that's it. And they bring us our food to the door, and in the morning they actually have coffee that they serve, and we can give them a cup, and they'll bring us back our cup full of coffee. Well, yesterday we asked, and they said, yeah, you can come down. While other people were out, they let us come down and get a refill. Today we asked the guy. He said, yeah, you can do that. And then he immediately slammed the door. We thought, well, that was odd. So we hit our call button in our room where there's an intercom. And when he got down to the desk, we said, did you forget you were going to let us come down and get a refill on coffee? He said, oh, well, until you comply with the medical requirements, you can't do anything. So we're basically being punished because he, like me, does not do the TB test. He's a guy that dropped out of school in the 7th grade, but he's smart enough to know that the TB vaccine is dangerous, and he's not going to do it. And, he reads the Bible every now and then, and I was reading the Bible this morning. I found this story about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, about how they were, put in the furnace, or, the problems they were dealing with simply because they refused to eat the king's food.
Yeah.
And I said, this is no different. This is political and religious persecution because we will not worship their God. They are worshiping sorcery, pharmakia. It's in Revelation. I showed him. I said, this is no different. We're being persecuted because we are submitting to the will of our God, and they don't like that. They want us to submit to their God of man-made pharmaceutical drugs, and because we respect our bodies, which is our gift from our Creator, that we've got to suffer. And he's been locked up here since November in the hole because he won't do a TB test.
Wow.
Yeah, and every time we turn around, we're asking for things that we otherwise would have. Like, I don't have access to law library. I don't have access to my legal material, all because I won't do their silly little TB test. And I said, you know what? They've got a urine test. They've got a breathalyzer. They've got a saliva test that will detect TB. Non-invasive. You're wanting to stick a needle in my arm with chemicals that are known carcinogenic, that have twain-80 and phenol, which are known carcinogenics. Novartis, the manufacturer, even says they don't guarantee its safety. It's safe or effective. And because it's considered a vaccine and classified as such, you can't sue them. It falls into that same category where if you're injured or killed, there's no recourse. I don't want to take that chance anyway. I said, you know, there are alternatives. And they said, well, yeah, you can have an X-ray. And I said, that's dangerous too. X-rays cause cancer. They damage cells. That's bad also. So everything that they're trying to force us to do is old-timey medicine that is outdated, that is known to be hazardous, but that's their religion.
Yeah.
And even though there's no law requiring a TB exam test or whatever, there's no law. This is a policy by the U.S. Marshal Service Corporation bureaucracy, so that they can satisfy the requirement of the company that they use to fly people around. The people that fly them around don't want them on their plane unless they've been cleared medically for TB and everything else. Well, therein lies the problem. All they're offering is these chemicals they inject into your arm or an X-ray, all of which are harmful.
Yeah, no, I hear you. You're absolutely right. Everything they do is you know, it's at making you submit and bow down to their will and to break your will. And let me share two things with you. Your wife's email did ask to keep her updated on the status of your case. So whatever status I should be relaying, please let me know. Also, Sue called last night. She's at Prince George in British Columbia. I can't remember the exact place, but anyway, she's concerned that they're going to send her back to Williams Lake where they have bad water and it's got some sort of thing in the water that causes her to get sick and almost die, and she's asking people to call Williams Lake to remind them that she has a doctor's prescription for bottled water because last time she almost died. So she's got also her two charges are abduction of a minor and failure to provide the necessities of life to a minor. That's what her two charges are, I guess, when she goes to trial. So anyway, oh, did you get a chance to talk to RC?
I called and talked to him for a minute, and then I had to get off the phone, and I was going to try to call him back. I called him back earlier before you, and he didn't answer the phone, so I was going to try him again later.
Okay, yeah, he probably has a job, and you know, he's probably, you know, very busy, but he did mention something about this weekend he might get a chance to come visit, which is just good to have a contact in the area and a friend that, you know, knows what's going on, because if they're going to do satanic things to you and try to incarcerate you, that it's better to have eyeballs watching so that they know that people are witnessing how they're treating you and all the miscarriages of justice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I talked to Mary briefly yesterday. She said there was some good news on the front where a fellow went into the court and basically told them that he did not consent to the bonding or securitizing of his signature. And he was locked up for 3 days, and they kicked him out of jail, and he had an assault charge or something. And they just dismissed the charge and cut him loose.
Yeah, she must have access to information that I don't have. I mean, usually when people speak about this sort of thing, and, you know, like, for instance, David Hinkson speaks very much like you. You speak very much like Ed Brown. Russell Landers speaks very much, you know, about these types of things, about, you know, the true nature of government, and they torture you guys, they kill you guys, they put you in prison for the rest of your life. So if she's seeing success with that sort of thing, she's very much more, you know, leaning towards the you know, the law than I am. I don't read those books. I don't pay attention to any of them, but I just kind of make observations, you know.
Yeah. Right. What they're doing is engaging people in commerce. At the end of the day, it's a business. And even the U.S. Marshal Service, in one of their reports, or the FBI, in the FBI's report out of Memphis, they complain. It says, well, because he won't recognize the authority of the court in Memphis, they've not been able to take him to trial. Okay, well, if they had authority in the first place, it wouldn't matter if I recognized him or not.
Right. Right.
So therein lies that acknowledges right there that you're not recognizing their authority and going along with their scam stops it.
Yeah, well,
at least
she claims, I guess there was one example where it did, but, you know, David Hinkson was one of the most articulate speakers about some of this stuff that I've ever heard of. He did a show with the late Lou Epton called How We Lost the Republic, and he talked about jurisdiction and indictments and all kinds of points, about this, how the law changed after the Civil War and it became a demonocracy as opposed to a republic. Anyway, all of that knowledge that he had, he spent 6 years in ADX Supermax in solitaire. I'm surprised he didn't lose his sanity. They really, really hate you guys when you start bringing this stuff up, which tells me it's probably true.
Rudy, they hate the one we follow.
Yeah, amen. Amen, you're right, Mike.
That's it. They literally, the lower level peons, they're just doing what they're told. They're just followers of Satan's minions that are above them, that want to have control and power over their fellow man. They're evil incarnate because they've sold them their souls, and they don't either understand there's more than this life afterwards. Yes, this life is a blessing. This is a gift from God. We're supposed to utilize it to care for the creation. We're the stewards of the garden. They don't get that. They want to be in power and control because they would rather, reign in hell than be servants in heaven, apparently, as the saying goes. I know that the people I've met that are evil and corrupted that achieve these positions of power, they're sociopaths. They all are all about power and control. Most of them were picked on as kids and found ways to gravitate towards these positions of power. So they grew up in families with, these statuses, and they were raised up this way. I mean, look at the Queen of England and her family. You got so much corruption there, but yet they perpetuate this lie and this myth that they believe that they're somehow set apart to rule over other people. And nowhere, all you got to do is read 1 Samuel chapter 8. God did not give man authority over other men, period. He says, follow me. All you got to do is read that. If you can get that one chapter, you get it. And, why did Samuel even get a call from the people? Because he had put his son as positions of judges, and they were selling out the people. It's all there. You cannot have man over man. You have to deal directly with your Creator. And Christ made it so simple. Love God and love your neighbor.
Amen.
If you're doing those two things, that's it. It's not complex.
Amen.
But people have to wake up to the fact that these people have sold their souls, whether they'll acknowledge it or not. And you have a choice. You can either go along with that system of corruption, stand back and watch that system of corruption, speak out, and as Christ did, expose and overturn. And that's the walk I walk. And, I wish that more people would take a stand and expose and overturn. But as long as these people keep accepting these Federal Reserve notes, it's a fiction. They have no value. Real money is gold and silver, land and cattle. It always has been. Just like Venezuela, their currency is debunked because nobody wants it. They're like the Weimar Republic after, World War I. It's useless. Well, the Federal Reserve note could have the same effect overnight once they bring in the gold-backed yuan from China, and Russia and China start trading in gold, and every other country starts trading with them. Guess what? It's over. Game over.
Yeah.
Federal Reserve is dead. The fiat currencies are dead, and all those people that have piles of those have nothing but kindling.
Yeah. I've often said the Federal Reserve is the single most evil institution on the face of the planet, and the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island by J. Edward Griffin, was a life-changing book. When I read that book, it totally changed my entire perspective about money and wealth.
People live in the world of a fiction. They're in a fantasy land, and they're living a delusion. And look at most people that gravitated, this deep state that they talk about. That's true. You got people that they don't even have to know their fellow bureaucrat. They're going to support the bureaucrat regardless because they know at the end of the day they can't be fired. Like this guy, McCabe, he's still going to get his retirement. They're going to work out a plan for him. Oh, yeah. These people are untouchable, and they support each other. They can do no wrong. Mm-hmm. There's no accountability. In my case, I tried to sue to expose the criminality of the rigged election and then the rigged court system, and then exposing the...
You have 1 minute remaining.
I'm getting the flack because I'm over the target.
Yeah.
These are the targets. They're engaged in human trafficking, and they're rigging everything. It's a rigged game from top to bottom, inside out, left to right, front to back. It's a rigged game. you can't win. You got to scrap it and start all over. Read Article 1, Section 1 of the Tennessee Constitution, and then Article 1, Section 2. It doesn't get any clearer than that what we're supposed to do. It's common sense. We're the people, we're the body. This is our time, this is our history. And if you don't act, if you don't stand up, if you don't engage, eventually they're going to get to you and those that you love, and they're going to take, as the scriptures say. Stand up and follow God.
Amen.
Follow Christ.
Amen, amen, amen. Is there anything...
God bless you, everybody.
Is there any books or anything we can do, Mike? I know we're running out of time.
I don't know. That book that you were going to send regarding the Native Americans, I never got.
Thank you for using GTL.
I never got that book.